From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, bandits open fire on Maulud procession in Katsina, abduct worshippers. Peter Obi speaks on the state of the nation. Fire in Canadian embassy claims 2 lives. On the foreign scene, 15 killed, several houses destroyed after floods hit Kenya. Hello and welcome to Trust. Welcome to Trust News Hour. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for joining. Now the news in full. Many people, including women and children, were killed when bandits attacked a procession of Maulud celebrants in Kusa, a community in Musawa local government area of Katsina State. It is, however, unclear how many have been killed after the attack, but many have reportedly sustained injuries, with 17 persons admitted at the Katsina Orthopedic Hospital and others at the Musawa Central Hospital. According to a resident, the bandits opened fire on the procession around 11:05 p.m. on Sunday, during which many were abducted from the scene. Confirming the incident, the police spokesman in Katsina, SP Abubakar Sadiq Aliyu, said the bandits' attack shot and injured 18 people. Now, our reporter in Katsina, Abdullahi Yamadi, is joining us via phone to give an update on the attack. Hello, Yamadi. Thank you for taking the time to join us.
Hello. Thank you so much for us.
All right. Now, what more have we learned about the attack and the casualty level?
Well, like you said, rather like you heard, there are people that are currently receiving medical attention at General Hospital Musawa, Katsina Federal Teaching Hospital, and of course Katsina Orthopedic Hospital here in Katsina. And most of them are responding to treatment. And of course, according to some reports, 2 have also passed on at Musawa General Hospital, beside those that were shot dead on the spot. So this is the situation. Some are responding to treatment, and of course, the situation is very pathetic according to the villagers.
All right. Now, but do we know more about why the procession was attacked in the first place?
You know, Musawa and Matazu are 2 local governments that have been terrorized by bandits. But in the past 2-3 months, there has not been any reported attack by bandits because of the resumption of peace. Peace has returned to the area, and most of them are saying that they can now go back to their normal businesses. In fact, it is now harvesting season everywhere in Katsina State, and most of the farmers there are engaged in evacuating their farm produce back home. So I think apparently what I can tell you is that the bandits seeing that maybe there is this issue of reprisal attack from the killings of some of their members by this newly introduced community security watch co. Because this community security watch co has been performing excellently in those communities. They are making effort to see that they have clamped down these terrorist bandits in those areas, and of course, even their collaborators, the informants, and so on and so forth. So that may be one of those things that led them to launch this attack on this procession.
All right, but you know, reports up to this time, it says that it's a suspected Boko Haram that carried out the attack. Had it been confirmed whether it is actually the Boko Haram or it is still on that suspension?
No, there is no confirmed report that it is a Boko Haram attack. Even the police public relations officer in a first statement issued, there was no mention of any Boko Haram attack there. All we know, Musawa and Matazu are neighboring one another, and of course, in the past 8 or 7 years, they have been suffering from this bandit terrorist attack. So where people are suspecting more of bandit attacks rather than the Boko Haram attack, of course.
All right. Now, Abdullahi Yamadi is our reporter there. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Thank you most sincerely for being there for us. Thank you.
All right. Now, still on security matters, at least 12 farmers have been killed and several others are reportedly missing after an attack by suspected Boko Haram insurgent on rice farmers in Mafa local government area of Borno State on Sunday. It was gathered that the insurgents stormed rice fields and rounded up the farmers while harvesting their farm produce in Karkut and Koshebe general area in Mafa local government area, slaughtering them with knives. According to civilian joint task force, 13 dead bodies have been recovered and a search of missing persons still ongoing. A top security source said that the terrorists who were on motorcycles divided themselves into 3 groups before attacking the farmers. In the meantime, suspected Boko Haram insurgents have shot and killed a businessman based in Maiduguri on his farmland in Bama local government area of Borno State. The incident reportedly happened on the victim's farm, where 4 workers were also abducted. The gunmen invaded the farm, rounded up the workers and attempted to kidnap the businessman. Eyewitnesses say there was a struggle between the victim and the insurgents before he was eventually shot dead. And now, Daily Trust Northeast Bureau Chief Hamisu Matazu is joining us via phone call to give an update on the incidents. All right, it seems Matazu has not picked the call, but we might come back onto him later during the bulletin. Now, troops of one mechanized division of the Nigerian Army and Operation Well Punch have neutralized 3 suspected terrorists during clearance operation in Birnungwari local government area of Kaduna State. A statement by the Acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations of 1 Mechanized Division, Lieutenant Colonel Musa Yahaya, said the troops encountered the terrorists while on a clearance operation at Maidaro, Gade, Ahala and Rikau villages in Birnungwari local government on Sunday. Similarly, the troops neutralized another terrorist during a discreet operation around Tantatu and Antenna General area in the Chiku local government. During the operation, the troops recovered an AK-47 rifle, 1 AK magazine, ammunitions and 2 guns. Meanwhile, operatives of the Kaduna State Police Command have rescued a Catholic priest in the Jama local government area of the state. According to the spokesman for the command, ASP Mansur Hassan, the victim, Reverend Andrew Amana of St. Francis Catholic Church, Godo, was abducted by gunmen on November 3rd and whisked to an unknown destination. The police spokesman disclosed that 2 suspects, Lawal Muhammad, age 27, and 30-year-old Yawu Hussein, both of Detti and Dogon Kurmi villages, were arrested in connection with the abduction of the Catholic priest. Matazu, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Earlier, we couldn't get you.
Thank you.
Now, give us an update on these attacks and help us understand what the security sort of is doing about it.
The latest about the story is that the 11 slain rice farmers were buried, and currently 3 are in the hospitalized. We were able to check on the hospital and saw some of them. They were taken into the emergency operation room. And regarding the security, we reached out to the police, and they confirmed the incident and saying that investigation is on and they are doing their possible best to see that they rescue some of the farmers that were taken away by the insurgents. So far, this is the latest, and what I will say is that we got confirmation from the head of the Barmari community, that's Bulam Hassan, who confirmed the incidents and saying that the bodies, they recover 11 bodies from the bush, and the people they have taken to the hospital also. And also the chairman of the Barmari Rice Farmers Association also said that the slain members of his association killed by the insurgents were buried around 4 o'clock in the Barmari town. I think basically it is the update about the incident.
All right, but according to Civilian Joint Task Force, that 13 dead bodies have been recovered and a search of missing persons was ongoing. Any updates or regards to the missing persons?
No updates so far, but the police and the military also said that they are on it.
All right, Matazu, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Keep us updated.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
And now on judiciary matters, the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has reserved judgment in the appeal by the Kano State Governor, Abba Yusuf, challenging his removal by the Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal. The tribunal had on September 20th nullified Yusuf's election by declaring 165,663 of his votes invalid. The tribunal held that the ballot papers were neither signed nor stamped by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Consequently, it declared the All Progressives Congress candidate Nasru Gawuna the winner of the governorship election. Still on judiciary matters, the Court of Appeal in Abuja has sacked Musa Ilyasu Konkoso of the All Progressives Congress and reinstated Yusuf Umar Datti of the New Nigeria People's Party in the Kura Madobi Garun Malam Federal Constituency election. The three-panel led by Justice Tunde Oyeba Miji Awotoye allowed an appeal by Yusuf Datti and averted that the tribunal erred in counting the date of the appellant's resignation of the date of his party's primary election, and that Section 77 of the Electoral Act was misapplied, saying no court has jurisdiction on the issue of membership of the party. Now, the Court of Appeal has sacked Chijioke Okereke of the Labour Party as member representing Anin Ari Augu, Oji River Federal Constituency. The court dismissed Okereke's appeal against an earlier sack by the Enugu State National Assembly Election Petitions Tribunal. In a judgment delivered on Monday, the court ruled that the appeal against the tribunal ruling that Anayo Onwubu of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, its rightful winner of the election, lacks merit. The tribunal has sacked Okereke, affirming Onwubu as the duly elected candidate of the February 25th poll. Onwubu had approached the tribunal challenging the declaration of Okereke on the grounds that he was a stranger to the election, as his name was not on the result sheet as the candidate of the Labour Party. In the meantime, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has decried the profligacy in government despite Nigeria's battle with economic downturn. The Labour Party's presidential candidate in the 2023 elections also criticized the verdict of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, which upheld the election of President Bola Tinubu during a press conference in Abuja on Monday. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman now reports.
11 days after the Supreme Court of Nigeria's verdict on the presidential election appeal, Labour Party's presidential candidate in the 2023 elections, Peter Obi, says the apex court has sacrificed judicial responsibility for political expediency at the cost of public confidence and trust.
The Supreme Court exhibited a disturbing aversion to public opinion, just as they abandoned its responsibility as court of law and policy. It is therefore with great dismay that I observe that the court's decision contradicts the overwhelming evidence of election rigging, false claim of technical glitch, substantial non-compliance to the rules set by INEC itself, as well as matters of perjury, identity theft, and forgery that has been brought to light in course of this election matter.
While reacting to national developments, Peter Obi decried the spending of billions of naira on exotic cars for lawmakers and rehabilitation of offices, describing it as a profligacy in the light of the sufferings of millions of Nigerians who are dealing with declining living conditions and poor public services.
Nigeria today, we've read it in the past 1 week for United Nations World Food Organization that 26.5 million Nigerians will go hungry next year. This is an issue of national importance that we can go for supplementary budget. But we have a supplementary budget where we are mentioning issues of yachts, SUVs for First Lady's office, shows to the extent that this government is totally uncaring and we're in deep problem.
Looking back at the presidential elections, Peter Obi says neither he nor the Labour Party regretted the decision to forego an alliance with other political parties, while adding his voice to calls for reforms and restructuring of the constitution by advocating a term limit of 5 years for the presidency with a rotational system for zoning. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, planned by the federal government to purchase utility vehicles worth more than 5.5 billion naira amidst a rise in living crisis and starvation continues to generate reactions in the country. Some residents of Jigawa share their thoughts on the matter as captured by Adamu Imam in this report.
People who belong to the informal sector of the economy and are struggling to feed daily say the money approved by the National Assembly for the purchase of utility vehicles for the president and his wife amounts to a misplaced priority at the moment. They should attend to the suffering of the people instead of buying expensive cars. That's my honest opinion. They should think about the masses first. Before doing anything, tackling poverty should be their main priority. I think the cars used by immediate past government officials are still okay to be used by the present leaders, so that the money set aside will be channeled to other projects that will benefit the people. Others are of the view that the lawmakers are part of the problem because they are not representing the interests of the Nigerian masses. If the lawmakers decided to approve the purchase of those vehicles, it is to satisfy their interests, not the masses. It means they are choosing the president instead of the people who voted them into office. They should advise the president to reduce the price of fuel. By so doing, we will know that they went there for good representation. Political observers say Nigerian electorate must be circumspect and careful when electing leaders that will represent them at various levels of governance. Adamu Imam, Trust TV News, Jigawa.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead. No fish for sale as traders go on strike in Lagos. Details of that and more after the break. Stay with us.
That's right. You too could be one of the 20 Zenith Bank customers that will win 150,000 naira every 2 weeks from June 1st, 2023 until May 31st, 2024 in the Zenith Better Life Promo 3. To qualify, simply open a Zenith Bank account. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com/betterlife. Live the better life with Zenith Bank.
As a demonstration of its commitment to provide sustained access to basic healthcare for all Nigerians, the federal government of Nigeria, through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency (NPHCDA), has established the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund (BHCPF). The Basic Healthcare Provision Fund is designed to deploy Operations Fund directly to primary healthcare facilities in every political ward nationwide to ensure the availability of quality PHC services to all Nigerians, irrespective of where they live or work. The Basic Healthcare Provision Fund guarantees 24 hours availability of midwives, other health workers, and health supplies in at least one PHC in every political ward. Ask from your local government health department for the BHCPF PHC in your ward to get more information and benefit from the services. Think access to healthcare for all. Think universal health coverage. Think Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. This message is from the Federal Ministry of Health and National Primary Healthcare Development Agency (NPHCDA). For further inquiries, call the NPHCDA toll-free number 7722 or visit www.nphcda.gov.ng.
It was never a consensus. We did all our best. You see, in politics, you give your contribution to the best of your ability.
If you want, I'll forward to you this statement. You go to this bank and verify.
But there are people who say not spending money is not a virtue in
coming.
itself.
Let me finish.
Because there's so much to be done.
Let me finish. Now, you don't allow me to explain myself.
The recent development shows abductions are now a factor of informants embedded in community.
It's not about the people of Katsina to say that, no, during my administration I was able to stop insecurity. No. It's about collective responsibility for all of us.
And what we should ask ourselves is not what has been seen, is the life better? Are there more people who are unemployed who are not become employed? Is the level of corruption has gone down? Is there inclusion? All those issues.
We're actually a gas country with associated oil. Our focus has always been on oil, that we have never paid significant attention to gas.
To do it effectively, we need to have honest conversation with ourselves. Government needs to come down from its higher horse and communicate with the people and build trust.
There must be a solution. We cannot continue this way. They must come back to the table and agree. So whose child will do higher education? All these children that sit for them, they want to go to higher institution.
But just a short while ago you were saying that why bring 10 children when you cannot cater for them? So why bring more universities when you cannot cater for the existing?
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the News Hour on Trust TV, and here is a recap of some of our top stories. Bandits open fire on Maulud procession in Katsina, abduct worshippers. And Peter Obi speaks on the state of the nation. Now to other stories. Cooking gas prices have spiked again in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, unsettling residents as they decry the rising cost of living in Nigeria. The ever-changing prices of goods and services have become emblematic on Nigerians' current economic downturn since the removal of fuel subsidy, with residents calling on the government to mitigate the effect. Trust TV's Beatrice Grizzly has a situation report.
Unlike other states where scarcity is driving gas prices up, in Maiduguri, the availability of the product is marked by a sharp decline in patronage due to price hike. The steady increase in the price of cooking gas has forced many households to search for alternatives. For a 12 kg cylinder, the price is now 14,000 naira and 28,000 naira for 24 kg.
They always change the price. Last month is different. This month is always different. So next month, we don't know what we are going to meet again. We just pray that God should be providing for us. Should have enough money to refill our gas. That's all. Yeah. And I'm supposed to buy 6 kg. But due to the changes, I just feel like let me just go for what I have on my pocket.
Everything has changed. Everything is a bit expensive nowadays. So it's not affordable for us to be buying the gas at that price. As discussing our ship. I know we have a lot of things to do than to be buying gas at that price. It will be a lot much easier if the price has come down a little.
da za a gyara mana gas ɗin na dan sauwage mana shi ya zama ko 200 ko 300 haka, kada ya wuce 500 dai.
The price should reduce to at least 200 or 300 naira. Let it not be over 500 naira so that a poor man can afford it, because you can even see that the current price, there are no customers. Some gas stations attribute the price hike to importation costs and the delay in getting the product.
Dalilin hanya ne ba kyau ta Enugu, saboda in sun je direbobin duk suna shan wahala a hanya.
The roads where we get the products are not good. Drivers suffer a lot bringing it here. They spent 2 weeks on the road instead of 1 week. Nigerians are grappling with rising cost of living as inflation reaches an all-time high with a sharp increase in price of goods and services. Bichus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
Now, in a bid to mitigate the effects of subsidy removal amid rising cost of living, workers and pensioners in Oyo State are set to receive awards and financial incentives. This was the outcome of an interactive session between workers and the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde. Report.
Briefing newsmen shortly after the meeting, Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, called for viable partnerships in government's sustained efforts at addressing economic gaps and providing a sustainable economic roadmap to fast-track development in Oyo State. The workers had converged on Oyo State Council of the Nigerian Labour Congress Agodi, Ibadan, for an extraordinary congress to discuss government intervention plans and welfare improvements to cushion the effects of subsidy removal. The decision to engage the government in a dialogue polarized the leadership of the organized labor, as some expressed their dissatisfaction by barricading the entrance of the Labour Secretariat.
We begin to see the light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully. And with the agitations now set on high, I know very well government people are already here and they are feeding them back. They could see. So they should let us conclude in good time so that everything will be at peace once again.
People are hungry and people have every right to behave in this manner. So what they want is result. I'm not talking about IGR, not talking about FAC. It is only a few of us that will understand that. People want result and they want it immediately, and we can see it.
After concessions were made, the leaders met with the state government and successfully negotiated with labor leaders for a wage award of 25,000 naira and 55,000 naira for pensioners in the state. Addressing the workers, Oyo State Governor called for unity of peace to move Oyo State forward.
I said to them that this is not a case of them against us or us against them. We are all in this together, and we have to pull together.
As Oyo State workers await the implementation of new wage regime, the socio-economic factors responsible for the intervention remain volatile.
Now, the suspended INEC resident electoral commissioner in Adamawa State, Hudu Yunusa Are, has failed to appear at the State High Court in Yola for arraignment. Justice Benjamin Manji of the State High Court in Yola thereafter ordered INEC to produce him in court during its next sitting on November 23rd, 2023. This follows the failure of the police to serve the hearing notice to Yunusa Are, according to the prosecution counsel to INEC. The police made several attempts to serve him the hearing notice by visiting his home without success. The defendant's surety also could not be traced. The presiding judge, Benjamin Manji, however, queried why the police, which granted Hudu Ari bail through a surety, could neither get the defendant nor the surety. He therefore granted the prosecution counsel's request of 2 weeks for the defendant to appear before the court. The suspended Rek Yunusa Are is facing a 6-count charge in connection with infractions during the 2023 governorship election in Adamawa State. Now, the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Obaseki, did not appear in court for arraignment at the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory on Monday. This is despite an order by trial judge Justice Olukayode Adeniyi for the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to produce Obaseki in court for hearing of his motion on fundamental rights enforcement. Justice Adeniyi had last week ordered the anti-graft agency to release the former CBN governor unconditionally or produce him in court for the hearing of a motion determining his bail. This follows his arrest by the FCC shortly after his release from the custody of the Department of State Services in late October. The court has now adjourned till Wednesday, November 8, for a hearing of Obaseki motion on notice and for his counsel to provide additional documents. It also restated its November 2nd order for Obaseki's unconditional release or to produce him in court on Wednesday. In the meantime, the prosecuting counsel in the case of late General Muhammad Alali, who was gruesomely murdered on September 3rd, 2018, around Duradu village of Jos South local government area of Plateau State, has on Monday tendered a confessional statement of Timothy Chwank and 24 others who were accused of participating in the murder of the victim at the resumed hearing. The prosecuting counsel, Simon Mom, presented his witness, an inspector of police from the Criminal and Investigative Department of the Nigerian Police, before the court. The witness, while testifying before the presiding judge, Justice A. Ashum, said the prime suspect, Timothy Chwank, who is the third dependent, admitted to the written statement given by him, adding that she translated his statement to Hausa language, which, according to her, said he had understood and signed, and thereafter she countersigned. The witness further explained that her boss, Mangsok Tikop, a retired police inspector working at the same department, had also recorded part of the confessional statement of the accused. After taking the statement of the prosecuting witness and cross-examination, the prosecuting counsel appealed to the judge for adjournment to enable him invite his final witness, Inspector Gigi Joshua. The judge thereafter granted his prayer and adjourned the hearing to December 7th for prosecutor to close his case.
Well, we don't take the witnesses in isolation. We have presented our evidence as we have been going through in the matter, and I think cumulatively, if you join the evidence together, we believe we must have made our case, and we leave the rest to the court to decide.
Now, a magistrate's court sitting in Yaba, Lagos State, has granted Naira Marley and Lagos socialite Sam Larry bail in the sum of 20 million naira with 3 responsible duties. Naira Marley, Sam Larry, and 2 others were arraigned on October 6th and remanded over their alleged involvement in circumstances surrounding the death of the musician Mohbad. As part of the bail conditions, the defendants are to surrender their passports and make weekly appearances at the State Criminal Investigation Department. Now, the chairman of National HAR Commission of Nigeria, Jalal Arabi, has inaugurated an 11-man committee for the pre-qualification of applicant tour companies for the 2024 Hajj license. This was contained in a press statement on Monday signed by Musa Obandawaki, Deputy Director, Information and Publications, NICON. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony held at the boardroom of the Hajj House in Abuja, the chairman admonished the members to live above board and guided by the principles of transparency, honesty, fairness in the discharge of the assignment. He added that the conduct of the members will enhance the image and integrity of the commission. Meanwhile, in an effort to reposition Nigeria's educational system for improved service delivery and global competitiveness, the federal government, in partnership with the United Kingdom, has kick-started an initiative aimed at reforming Nigeria's education curriculum. This collaboration is targeting the integration of educational elements to broaden the scope of knowledge for Nigerian students within the existing curriculum. Habibat Ajayi now takes it from here.
Nigeria's education sector remains inundated by several challenges militating against quality service delivery. According to available data, there are 2.147 million students in Nigerian universities, constituting 1.1% of the country's total population. The current setup of Nigerian tertiary institutions leave much to be desired due to poor performances and inadequate productivity. The United Kingdom's international education champion is now collaborating with the Nigerian government to address these gaps to boost capacity and output.
Guidelines is universal, applicable, and operational because it's emanating from the NUC, not any other organ. As you do know that NUC is the major regulatory body for university education in the country. And therefore, whatever the MOU you do, you have with them is standing. And the ministry will ever be stand firm to ensure that it is operational and you have all our support and backing in executing the transnational education. It is our hope that in the next few years to come, we will all be glad that we have participated actively and Nigeria will be highly rated at international level.
The United Kingdom representative, while reiterating the need for open and constructive dialogue, highlighted the shared goal of achieving mutual benefits for both Nigeria and the United Kingdom.
Transnational education is where someone studies in country, but for a high quality UK degree, with the quality assured by the British quality assurance system. It's obviously a lot cheaper to study here than it is to travel to the UK for 3 or 4 years and study, and yet the quality is the same. To do that, though, we've had to have a couple of years negotiations with the NUC on the guidelines for transnational education.
Part of the recommendations identified include the need for the UK delegation to explore an alignment with Nigeria's Orientation Agency for effective and optimal utilization. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, the infrastructure deficit in Nigeria is multiplying as more communities decry the effects of dilapidated or non-existent infrastructure, making life socio-economically difficult for residents. In Ilobo town of Oyo State, the collapse of 2 bridges means the community has been cut off from accessing basic amenities like schools and farms. Hamid Oyibade files in this report.
Ilobo is one of the big towns in Oyo State and headquarters of the old Irepodun local government. This town has endured years of neglect from the government with its decaying infrastructure. The recent collapse of 2 bridges connecting the town to farmlands and basic amenities such as schools and hospitals means life for residents in the area has been significantly disrupted. Without the bridge, there's not much the people can do.
Since the bridge has sunk, many students are not finding it easy to come to school. The school attendance is very low nowadays.
Every first term, the population of the school increased more. But now that the bridge has collapsed, many parents are avoiding their students not to come to our school again through this bridge that has collapsed.
It has actually deprived our younger ones the right access to their school environments. And this has actually affected them to reduce the number of students to be coming to school for each terms of the session.
And it has become a very serious problem since last year that the bridge collapsed totally. And we have been making appeals. We have been praying to government at different levels, different agencies to come to our aid so that the situation will not continue like this.
An appeal for urgent intervention by government has become necessary as socio-economic activities continue to slow down. For residents, the time for infrastructure development has come.
What actually complicated it, you see the second bridge, is that used to be like the alternative, but now, in fact, no vehicle can cross to this side again. So we appreciate government quick intervention before we start losing lives, please.
New roads and bridges have become a top priority for Ilobu, and a timely intervention from government will breathe life back into this town and its people as they keep hope alive for a quick turnaround. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Oshogbo.
Now, amidst the mounting food inflation creeping the nation, fish vendors in the Agege area of Lagos State have initiated an indefinite strike. The fish sellers, who have halted sale of fish to local residents, are appealing to the Nigerian government to take urgent measures to reduce the cost of fish. Victoria Tokolo was present at the market on Monday to provide us with this unfolding situation. Her report is as presented from our studio.
Agege Main Market, a bustling hub for perishable goods, has witnessed a noticeable decline in activity as fish sellers have initiated an indefinite strike, coupled with dwindling consumer patronage. Today, the fish sellers took to the streets, marching through the market and intercepting anyone attempting to vend fish to customers. They collected fish scales and gathered at the main market secretariat for a collective assembly. Iyaoja of Agege, Monsurat Ajayi, says that the strike will persist until the government addresses their demand to lower fish prices in the cold storage facilities. Escalating prices have left both common man and the fish sellers grappling with repercussions of the price surge.
That's the way no get money. Now they eat pala. No, we no fit eat pala again. 40,000 for 10 kilo. They won't kill us. One pala, 10,000, 7,000 we dey sell am. Money no go complete still. So what you want us to do? They say don't cool it.
Broke a rate of 35,000, 35,000, 38,000, but now it's 58,000 naira. Latest 60,000 naira. 9 months before it's 38,000. Now it's 78,000 naira. So we can't afford it anymore.
But now when we buy 6,000, now it's 25,000. This one, I'm buy it 9,000 before, but now it's 35,000 in 12 pieces of fish inside the bag. So I'm tired. I don't fit do business again. Make Nigeria help us.
The substantial rise in fish prices has not only affected the fish sellers, but has placed a heavy burden on everyday consumers, making it increasingly challenging for them to purchase fish for themselves and their families.
For many years back, you can get fish like 200 or 150, but recently just things change immediately. That people cannot afford to buy it. You can get panda 4 now, 4 at the rate of 600.
Now, if you know hold 1.5, 2,000, you not go fit buy panda fish. They're not even near them before. Now, hot cake.
The fish sellers are earnestly appealing to government to take immediate action in reducing fish prices within the cold storage facilities. Furthermore, they are asking for a solution to the issue of fuel prices, as it is a significant factor contributing to the soaring cost of fish within the cold storage facilities.
You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. The news continues after this short break. Please stay with us.
Human beings know what is right. If they don't want to do what is right, they will give you 1,001 reasons why they are doing the wrong things.
They see themselves as conquerors, and other people have been conquered.
When the opposition and the press keep parroting that phrase, government has failed, but we will not be here, hold on, we will not be here, sitting down here, if government has failed.
There has been almost a total collapse of the security outfit, and the terrorists are taking advantage of this. On that, a country that has about 923 square kilometers of arable land, not more than 2.5% has been cultivated.
Of course, you, the Nigerian citizen, will also have your say via our phone-in numbers on your screen.
The issue of appointment in Nigeria has become more political than doing the right thing for the country.
Welcome back from that short break. Now, the Nigerian Senate has resolved to facilitate the inclusion of the dredging of River Benue, River Niger and other river projects in the 2024 appropriation bill. At an emergency session on Monday, the upper legislative chamber said the plan will help combat Nigeria's recurrent flooding and its effects. Report.
The dredging of rivers Benue and Niger is back on the front burner, as the Nigerian Senate also requested the President to facilitate the construction of Danzi Hausa Dam in Furoro local government area of Adamawa State. This is to prevent excessive flooding from the Lango Dam in Cameroon. These resolutions followed a motion moved by Senator Iya Abbas, representing Adamawa Central. Leading his debate, Senator Abbas expressed concern over perennial flooding by the River Benue, which has also led to the loss of lives, displacement of people, and destruction of farmlands, thereby threatening food security. He requested the Senate leadership to urge the National Emergency Management Agency to assist the victims of the flood in the country.
Further the storm that the result of the flood by the River Benue on Wednesday, 1st of November, 2023, 32 people were on board trying to cross the river at Garin Alaji near Chikito village, where the boat capsized, but only 7 bodies were recovered and 5 people rescued alive. The remaining are still unaccounted for.
Contributing to the debate, other senators emphasized the urgency of taking necessary actions to enable year-round agricultural activities.
For those of us who are living with the consequences of flooding every year, we cannot but support a motion like this and sympathize with fellow Nigerians who share in this plight every year. River Niger and River Basin are upland, but all the water that we are complaining about flows through, through the Niger Delta to the Atlantic. So it's a major issue.
Facilitate the inclusion of the dredging of River Niger, River Benue, and other rivers in the 2024 appropriation bill to address the perennial flooding and its multi-dimensional consequences to Nigerians. Can we say aye? Those again say nay. The ayes have it.
The River Benue is an international river that originates from northern Cameroon and flows into Nigeria through Jemeta in Adamawa State, Ibin in Taraba State, and Makudi in Benue State, before becoming a conference with River Niger in Lokoja. Rashidat Yusuf for Trust TV.
Now, the naira has continued its resurgence against major currencies of the world. After hitting an all-time low of 1,300 per dollar last week, the volatility in the forex market has caused uncertainty as the Central Bank of Nigeria began payment of forex backlog. Yusuf Akogo reports.
The exchange rate between the United States dollar and naira remains a pivotal economic indicator. The nation's currency has now appreciated to between 1,070 naira and 1,080 naira per dollar at the black market as at September 6, 2023, after a very poor start under the current government. At the official exchange rate window, naira is trading at 781 to one United States dollar. While the parallel market is not recognized by the central bank, many Nigerians patronize this window due to the difficulties in accessing the official market.
The true exchange rate of the naira is not 850. Naira is 1,300. The I stand with the government in the area between 650 and 700, which I think is the good exchange rate of the naira. So definitely, I think that will happen. On the side, whether it will get to 750 before the end of this year, I doubt much. Getting to 850 like JB Morgan projected, I think that will happen. But on the government side, I think we may have to wait till next quarter next year to see that magic happen.
The question on many lips is if this appreciation of the black market has come to stay, or will it depreciate against the dollar again? While the Apex Bank continues to encourage individuals to approach their banks for forex, The parallel market rate often serves as a reflection of market sentiment and Naira's performance against foreign currencies. Yusuf Akogo, Trust Television News, Abuja.
Now, the group business editor, Media Trust, Sunday Markel, is joining us via phone call to discuss forex market volatility, Naira rebounding against major currencies. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Thank you very much. Good evening to our viewers.
Yes. Now, what do Nigerians need to know about the resurgence of the Naira and its sustainable?
Okay, so basically what has been happening in the foreign market is scarcity of the dollar. And for every commodity that is scarce, naturally, the value of that commodity goes up. It is the basic rule or law of demand and supply. So what we have seen as from Thursday and Friday last week is the central bank clearing up some of the backlog, that has compounded in the official window, that has forced a lot of people who need dollar from that window there are still people approach the parallel market with their demands. So we understand that about 60 to 70% of that backlog has been cleared. And because that market is now awash with liquidity, naturally, the artificial rate, exchange rate began to subside from a high of about 1,300 to currently, as of today, closing around 1,005 naira to the dollar. So, as a matter of fact, last week it dropped to as low as 900 naira to the dollar in the parallel market and around 779 naira in the official window. So basically what we are seeing is liquidity. The market is awash with some level of liquidity and it has impacted on the market.
The volatile nature of the forex market, what would you think that the CBN need to do in order to maintain the current trend?
It is so much about Nigeria than it is about the CBN. It's about liquidity. As long as we can sell more things to the international market and in dollars, then we can take care of our import needs with the dollars we made from our exports. That is what we need to do as a country. It's about diversifying this economy in every sense of the word. We are suffering today because the mono source of our income, which is petroleum, has dwindled. We are not selling enough due to shortages, due to the stealing of the crude. If we begin to look at other sectors that can bring in foreign exchange to our market, then we will have enough to take care of all of our import appetite, especially in foreign goods, and then we'll be able to stabilize. So it's not so much about CBN, it's about our lifestyle, it's about as a people, it's about priority as a country. I mean, recently you are aware that the National Assembly bought vehicles in the excess of several billions of naira, foreign assembled vehicles against the ones that are assembled in Nigeria. That means taking from our scarce resources to finance their lifestyle. So until we begin to think local and begin to buy local and buy Nigeria, there is nothing that we can do that will sustain the value of the naira.
All right, Sunday Markel is the Media Trust Group Business Editor. Thank you so much for taking the time to enlighten us on that.
The gratitude is mine. Thank you very much.
Now, moving on. In a sad development, a fire outbreak on Monday at the Canadian Embassy, Abuja, has left 2 Nigerians dead and 2 hospitalized at the National Hospital Center with severe burns. The fire was triggered by a diesel tank explosion in the generator house at the Canadian Embassy. FCT Emergency Management Agency said the incident happened at about 10:45 a.m. The fire occurred when the tank of diesel in the generator house containing 2,000 liters of diesel exploded. 2 of the personnel servicing the generator were fatally injured and 2 persons survived and are on admission at the National Hospital Trauma Center with severe burns. FEMA Head Public Affairs Nkechi Isa said the FCT Fire Service, which was mobilized to the scene, containing the fire around 12:30 p.m. Ambulances from the Ministry of Defense Ship House, Abuja Federal Fire Service Ambulance and FCT Emergency Management Agency were on hand at the scene of the incident. Reacting to the incident, the Acting Director General of FEMA, Muhammad Ibrahim Sabo, urged cautions on proper handling of petroleum products, particularly with the onset of the dry season. Now, Now, away from Nigeria, at least 15 people have died in Kenya as floods swept away scores of houses and devastated farmlands following torrential rains. The Red Cross, while confirming the development, says heavy rainfall has pounded Kenya, particularly the Bond-Dry North, in recent days, flooding homes and submerging roads, with similar scenes playing out across other parts of East Africa. More than 1,000 livestock have died, while at least 97 hectares of agricultural farmlands have been destroyed. The UN's humanitarian agency said last month that Eastern Africa would likely encounter heavier than normal rains over the October-December period because of the El Nino phenomenon. Kenya's meteorological department also warned last week that the heavy rains were likely to be accompanied by gusty winds. And now, on a sad note, renowned Kano-based Islamic scholar Sheikh Yusuf Ali has been laid to rest in Kano. Sheikh Ali died on Sunday night, according to his son, at the age of 73. His funeral rites prayer was observed at Murtala Mosque on Monday afternoon, led by the chief imam of the mosque, Kabiru Badamasi Dantaura. The burial was attended by prominent personalities, including the Emir of Gaya, Ibrahim Abdul Qadir, renowned Islamic scholar Sheikh Ibrahim Khalil, representatives of the government, and a host of others from all walks of life. He was buried inside the Sheikh Isiaku Rabiu Mosque at Goronduzi. Born in 1950 in Gaya town of Kano State, the late Islamic scholar began his legal career in 1974 as a Sharia court scribe and rose through the ranks to become chief clerk, assistant registrar, Upper Sharia Court, judge and director at the Upper Sharia Court. Sheikh Ali retired in 2009 and continued with Islamic teachings and offering spiritual healings. He survived and left behind 3 wives and 36 children. And may his soul rest in peace. And now with that, we have come to the end of the news hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and our YouTube live stream for more news, programs and documentary. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for watching and bye for now.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.